The cost of accessing the internet is a burden for many of us, and especially here in Africa where the prices of data are just so high, especially mobile data. Mobile data is just too much. That data must fall. But because of what's been going on in the United States, the cost of data and accessing the internet might just rise for us all in the rest of the world. Watch this as we explain. Hey, what up? It's your boy MobbJustice back again with another video. Today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently because we're going to be focusing on a current affairs issue which actually happened back in late 2017. In late 2017, the FCC, or the Federal Communications Commission from America, actually repealed or changed the laws on something called net neutrality. And so in this video we're going to be talking about net neutrality and why you here in Africa or wherever you are in the world should actually care about it. So firstly, what is net neutrality? Net neutrality is just the idea that all internet traffic should be treated equal. So for example, you will find that if you're on Facebook versus being on Spree or being on Spotify or iTunes, your internet traffic is meant to be treated the same. So no matter if you are just uploading pictures to Instagram or actually typing an email or streaming video, your internet traffic arrives to you at the same rate no matter who the provider is. That is the idea behind it. Of course, in practice, this might not be 100% the way that it is on the ground, but that's the idea behind net neutrality. So basically what it means is no one on the internet is given preference over anyone else in terms of their traffic actually arriving at your computer, and that's the idea of net neutrality. So now the question becomes, why should you care about net neutrality? How does it affect us? As I said earlier, the FCC is an American regulatory body, but we are not in America. Some of us are in Africa, and I know that those of you watching are watching from other parts of the world. But we tend to take, our legal systems tend to take the lead from other parts of the world where precedent has been set about certain things, and especially where innovation and technology is happening in certain parts of the world, like in America. A lot of the laws that we then localize and use in our parts of the world and our regions will come from those other parts of the world. So in terms of net neutrality, it's an American thing, but it has consequences for the rest of the world in a number of ways. I'm going to be breaking down this in two aspects. The first is on the consumer side and the second on the business side. So firstly, on the consumer side, how does it affect you? It affects us because in Africa, for example, the cost of data and accessing the internet is actually quite high. We know that the use of certain websites, especially your social media websites like your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google+, whatever you use is free. But actually accessing those sites tends to not be free. Depending on what country you're from, you're going to be using LTE, Wi-Fi, LAN, whatever it is you use to access. So that's where the ISPs come into effect. Your ISPs are your internet service providers. These are the people that actually connect you to the actual websites themselves. They're the ones who provide that highway between your phone, your tablet, your computer to the servers of Facebook, your Google, your Twitter, etc. So the ISPs at the moment actually feel that net neutrality is not a good thing. You can see this from 2014, where Netflix users actually noticed in America that their traffic was actually going, the speed of Netflix on the Comcast network actually went down. And it wasn't until Netflix themselves went and made a deal and paid Comcast that they were actually able to get their speeds on the network back to where they were. And this is the trouble and the fear that a lot of people have right now, that with net neutrality being repealed, we're going to actually see ISPs actually either charging more to consumers to actually access data heavy websites like your streaming services like Netflix, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Or what will likely happen is that some of the bigger companies, the ones that have the pockets for it, will have a free-for-all to actually go and pay your internet service providers to make sure that their traffic is actually fast on the network. And for those services that actually can't pay, they're going to slow those down. So that's it on the consumer side. On the business side, what does it mean? On the business side, it means that if you are a young tech entrepreneur, and we've actually seen that in regions like Africa, there are a lot of web services that are coming in. People are developing apps. People are now using the internet as a way to trade and engage with each other. But it means that without net neutrality, the accessing customers or customers accessing their services might become a bit of a problem, because they will either have to pay the ISPs more to make sure that their services aren't slowed down on the network, or the cost might be passed on to the consumers. And it then begs the question of how do we allow for innovation to actually take place, because it means that the bigger players with the deeper pockets will be able to then pay to have their traffic be fast on the network. And you know how it is, right? This is 2018, and in 2018 you do not want services that take a long time to get to the homepage, or buffering and all of that stuff. We know the spinning wheel. It's a dreaded thing, and this is what net neutrality is about. The other implications that I can think of off the top of my head, apart from the fact that costs will generally tend to rise, is just the fact that, as I said earlier, the cost of data in places like where we are in Africa is already high. And if we're going to have your services like, let's say, Netflix or Google, making it more expensive for us to browse the internet, our costs could end up going up. And this could do a lot in terms of actually, because Africa, especially in terms of mobile penetration, is one of the fastest growing regions in terms of accessing the internet. But if we make the cost of accessing the internet even higher, then it means that the innovation for education, those future tech entrepreneurs, or those people that will come up with solutions around technology, might be impeded a bit. So that's it in terms of net neutrality. I hope that I've been able to explain to you, and I hope that I've made it relevant, because at the end of the day, it's an issue of why should you even care about this thing. And I feel like a lot of us complain a lot about data bills already, and this might be something that will see us seeing those data bills rising in the future to come. If you have an opposing opinion to what I've just said, if you think that net neutrality is a good thing, or if you think that it's going to actually help us as consumers, please let me know in the comments section. I'm definitely willing to engage. Maybe we can have a part 2 of this video, and maybe some of you can actually contribute to that. Otherwise, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As I said, engage with us in the comments section. Otherwise, tell us if you like this by just hitting that like button, and then don't forget to hit that subscribe. I'll be back with another video soon enough. Keep it locked. This is your boy, MobbJustice.
This is Muffs Too Much, and you're watching MobbJustice TV. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. We're there on YouTube. Thank you for watching our video. Subscribe.